Hi, in this tutorial, which is the fourth step in making a conceptual tower, I'm going to upload the tower that we have finished in the step 3, which is this one. I just rename it to step 4. You can just open a new project environment file by going to Revit, New, and then Project, and choose architectural template, which I did already, and then you have to load into the project. Just pressing this button. I already did these steps before I prepare this video, just to save some time. So what you got actually is a project environment with a conceptual file load into it. In the project environment, it's a really good idea to understand the concept of conceptual mass, and probably if you go to the mass inside, probably you might get this option off, and you might get just this curtain system is on. So it's a good idea just to hit that button, and you're going to see the conceptual mass in front of you. And you notice that the conceptual mass is actually made out of a two-part. The one which doesn't have any kind of division, which is this one, of this part, and the one which actually has a division in it, which is we already applied a curtain wall and adaptive component system to it, as you can see in here, which is technically the only thing that you can see if you turn off the show mass here, because that's the only physical component or actual component you have. The rest is still conceptual. So the conceptual is like a mold or like a template that you can build upon or by its use, while it's actually not a physical architectural component. So in this case, you might need again here to come to wall by face, and then you pick up whatever type of wall you want. Like for me, I really don't care, so I'll just go to a generic 200 millimeter and then select the face, and Revit will generate a wall here for you. So if you go here to shaded, now you're gonna start see the elements or the architectural elements for it. See again here, it's still transparent, that means still conceptual. Hit it with the same tool, the same command, which is wall by face, and Revit will create a wall for you based on that, and that's technically what we want. And the same thing here. Now I have those 4 walls actually created, and between them we have the curtain system, so I'm not going to change anything in that. So I'm going to go here to the north elevation, and in the north elevation I'm going to drag that out from both sides so it doesn't overlap with the geometry, and then you can just select and then hit array, and I'm gonna push that up, let's say 4, and instead of 2 let's go 40, actually 25, and I think I have to change that in here. And now we get we get the levels created, and for some reason it isn't enough, so I'm gonna change that again. Make them 50 maybe. Now we need to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now it's actually Revit created for us an array of levels, and it ends in here in that specific 168 something. Now maybe you don't need to make floors for each of them in an earlier phases of design, but anyway, if you create, it's just a level. If you create a floor for each one of them, it's gonna really slow down the PC, and I don't advise that unless you are making an exact detailed model for the entire tower. Now select the geometry again, conceptual mass. Actually, here you're gonna find the mass floors, so just select it, and then you can select the first one and then go to the last one, hit shift and then tick, and then go OK, and now Revit will generate for you a conceptual mass floors actually. And yes, it depends how fast your machine is, and as you can see now, it's a conceptual floors. It isn't a real floor. It doesn't have any thickness, as you can see. It's just a conceptual work. So again, you can just select floors and then select the entire thing here, and then create floor. The type of floor going to be generated is 400 mil. You can select whatever type you want, maybe 160, whatever, and then go create, and it's gonna generate for you a real physical floors for each level that you have. And remember that it isn't, or there isn't any actual views to look at that. We just actually created the floors for you, but if you look at the views, still no plans for that. And in order to create that, that's a totally different thing. Anyway, before I do that, I'll just always try to remind you to turn off this whenever you don't need it. And in this case, technically you don't need it anymore, because actually you created slabs and you created the walls and you have this curtain system. So it's actually a complete architecture building, and it's ready to be actually documented or finish the job on whatever you want to add for it. And now, just to show you, you can go to view, and from views you can, here in the plan, floor plan, and I'm not gonna make each one of them. If you want, just go do it, it's okay. I'm gonna take one each 10, so I'm gonna take 10 and I'm hitting control. I'm hitting 20, 30, 40, and I'm gonna pick the last one maybe and hit OK. So now I'm gonna generate here, actually we're gonna generate here floors for each one of those, and you can see that's it's pretty awesome. That's Revit actually creating everything for you. It's cutting, and that's the glazing, and that's the actual wall, and that's what happened beneath that level, and so on and so on. So that's the power thing that we can really depend on when we design such a thing, that you don't need really to cut each level. Revit will do that for you and create the floors and the views for that. Anyway, that's been done, and that's been said. So that's our tower. So now let's finish this. So that's for creating walls and slabs and roofs and even creating views. So I'm gonna go to insert, and from the insert I'm gonna go to CAD import, and in it, actually before I do that, it's a good idea to go to site and add that to the site. So here I'm gonna add an AutoCAD file that I prepared. Please make sure that in this AutoCAD file you use the same units. If it's metric, it's okay, and then you have to make sure it's millimeter or meter before you load that into your project. So it's happening, it's loaded, and don't freak out when you don't see it. So usually it shouldn't just look at it the same thing you are expecting it to be. So be patient and zoom out as much as you can, and you're gonna find something really tiny and small away from this, which is the center of your drawing. select this dude here far away and unpin it, see, and then move it to this center point that you have, and then zoom slowly, and now we are actually placing it roughly. So just push it a little bit and down, maybe with the keyboard arrows, to place it exactly in the middle of the rectangle that I'm really don't care exactly how or where it's gonna be. You can do that more in detail if you are really interested to place it correctly 100% anyway, which is not me in here. So that's the side, and roughly I placed here in the upper corner to be 20 meter, and the street side to be 0, 0. So now, as easy as you can do is just to go to massing again and go to topography here, and just I even don't remember the units anyway. So place point, let's say it's 20, actually 20,000, and then let's just click here, a point here, and another point here, and then I'm gonna make this 0, zooming out, and I'm gonna place here another 2, so 1 here and 1 here, and it's actually placing the entire 4 points here. I'm just gonna drop that down, and I'm gonna finish, and I need some 3D here. So you can see that's my side, and that's the topography of the side actually. 20 meter that point and 0 at that specific area. So now I need to notice that the tower is actually, part of it is actually sunk inside the topography, so we need a pad actually. So get back to the side, and just I'm gonna activate the wireframe mode so I can see through this site that I made. So now I'm gonna get building pad here, and again I'm gonna zoom in, and you can just go pick lines and then pick whatever you want. I'm gonna pick those lines, and then I'm gonna trim TR to activate that and get rid of any extra lines. I have to make it a continuous, and then hit the tick to accept it, and then you go to 3D, and you can see that it's been cutting actually the entire part of the site to make that code for us and make this entirely accessible from the level of the 0 level, which is the street level, to get in. And now we have this part, or this place and this place, and you know, the other edges, especially here within the site, is actually critical. You're talking like, if this is 20 meter, let's say that this is maybe, I don't know, roughly a 16 or 17, so it's enough if you fall to die. So we need here a retaining wall to prevent people from falling and dying here. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to site and roughly need to know how much this is. So I think it's a half meter, but anyway, yeah, 500 mil. So I guess right. So I'm gonna go to architecture here, and then to wall, and I'm gonna pick this one, which is whatever, a generic wall, and duplicate this dude and make it 500 mil, and get rid of this. And in the edit structure, I'm gonna change that to 500 mil. And before I start, I make sure it's unconnected, and 8 is not enough, so probably and that the highest point is at 20, so I'm gonna go 21 and hit apply. And the wall center actually is not really helping me, so I'm gonna go with the finish exterior, and I'm gonna start from that point, and it's going okay. So just trace the perimeter, as you can see. Go to 3D here, and you see that it's kind of it's enough. We provided 1 meter not to fall that side anyway, but this area is the scary one, so this side is the scary one. So what I'm gonna do is, actually it's not supposed to leave that like this, and I'm not really happy to make that inclined also, as it's really hard to be constructed, and easier if I just split that, and I'm gonna go like each 20 meter probably. So each 20 meter I'm cutting the wall. And if this is a 21, so probably this could be 20, and this one could be, I don't know, 19, and so on. Probably we look at it from the other side. That can give us a rough estimation so about what's happening, so you know what you're doing. And now it's getting better. Actually, it's not that one continuous wall, which is a 21 meter here, and it's going to be 21 meter higher than this area, which is totally wrong. So it's a good idea to split that. The other side is kind of easier to be done, because maybe we need a 20 here and another 20 here only. So this dude, or this part, could be lowered to be, I don't know, 19 or such, while this one is actually just as close to 0, so maybe 1 is enough as such. Alright, it's kind of scary, so I'm just gonna make 2. And as you can see, that's the first step to be done, and I'm gonna do the rest using the same technique. So again, I don't need 20, probably I need 18 or something, 17 meters. So I'm gonna start here. and I think this part is actually going through, so you can just drag that here. Now let's go to 3D and fix that. So you're gonna see this is kind of not correct. So what is the height of that? It's 19, so it's just be patient to pick up the wall this and make it 19. You don't need to make any gradient or steps in it, as it's actually horizontally in the slope in the same direction. This should be 19 also, like such. So start up with this at this specific point, and then we can split it. So probably I don't know, I'm gonna pick like 15, and then select this and make it 17, and that goes okay here, 17, and here 17 is doing okay. So we probably need to split a little bit, so let's go, I don't know, 15, and another 15, and we grade that now. So probably here we might need 15 meter, and probably this one, okay, we need to split it again. So I'm gonna make another 15 here. I'm gonna make 10 here, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, this probably gonna make it 13, and that maybe 11, and this one probably 10, which sound cool. So this is also 10, as it goes horizontal. And just to ease ourselves, this dude here is 6, so probably we might need to make this less than 6. So I'm just gonna make 6, and it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, probably we should lower this to 4. It's too high. And, even the 4 actually is high, but I'm gonna keep it. Now again, this dude split 15 or 20, whatever you like, and make sure that this one at least start the same as this. The corners always follow the same dimensions, just like more professionally. Now, if you noticed that those actually the mud is shown here, it's pretty ugly. So I'm gonna go back to the site again and fix this. Just edit surface, and actually you can just push the wall slightly that way, or you can make the podium is slightly bigger. So probably I'm gonna go to the podium itself rather than to the mud. See here, I can just align to this. It's gonna be actually better if we do this, and that's what I'm doing here. And then when I go to 3D, see, it's better getting rid of this coplanar or two surfaces in the same place, which is not really right. Now I'm gonna come again to the site and change this. So I'm gonna take this wall and I'm gonna just push that way. And I'm gonna divide it again. Just as much as you like. And in here I'm gonna lower that again. That's to keep me this segregated zone. So I'm gonna go to the site again, and in it you can just go to the massing, and there's something called here subregion, and I can just draw a rectangle here starting from this point to this point. And now I get this as an entire different surface from that, and that's kind of awesome. So here in the material I can just load whatever material I like and just give it a grass instead of this dirt or dust or whatever. So if I created here, if I created a material here, and in here I just go grass, pick up whatever you want, and now I just hit apply, and that's it. And now it's if it's not shown, so don't freak out again. So just change that to realistic, and it's gonna cause a dramatic slow if your PC is not really good. Anyway, if you zoom enough, you're gonna see that that's the grass and that's the dirt thing. Anyway, I'm not into a material in here. Anyway, by that we have most of the landscape been done, and you can add any kind of other side component like trees, for example. And the lovely thing is it's gonna follow the topography, so it's a really lovely thing. So when you move your hand down, it actually sense the location or the altitude of the land level or the elevation, and it places the tree correctly. As you can see, isn't placing it in the air or touching the 0 level, while it's just sensing the topography, and that's what we want. As you can see, lovely tool. And now we have a nice set of trees. And you can start noticing that the PC is actually going slower and slower. I'll just return to the hidden mode or whatever. And here, the final touch, you can add a parking component. So I'm going to go to the site. I'm just going to place parking component, which is the last thing. And you can, with the space, of course, just to relocate it the way you like, and then just pick one and then go to array, and in it you can just specify the distance between them as such, and I don't know, let's give it like 50 maybe, and that, as long as this associate or group and associate option, which I highly advise you here to keep it on, it's gonna make an associative array for you. And as you can see, it's actually creating a nice array of car park areas and so on and so on. So that is, I think, more than enough for our tutorial, and the last step actually in making conceptual towers, which we started from a very basic method of making the model, and then how we make an adaptive components, and then how we actually import that into a physical model, as we can see, and then finally how to add landscape trees, and how to control this retaining wall, and then splitting them. I wish that you had a nice lessons here and you could benefit from that. And the final step, you can make whatever type of a presentation you want, maybe depending on the shadow or getting more advanced material and lighting, as you can see. Wish that you get benefit from that. Thank you. I'm Firas again. Have a good day and bye.